It's like 8 something at night on Sunday, June 14th. There's a lot of vehicles. A truck just pulled out when he was gonna just keep standing there watching me. But he saw me pull my camera out, so then he turned away. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. I've been looking at the clouds, and boy, you just can't get the clouds, like the sky on my camera looks way bluer. In person it looks really, really like gray and really light blue. And I don't have a filter on here or anything, so I don't know, but the clouds have moved. It was really, really dark. Those were really dark. And I don't know, like, do y'all see that thing there that looks almost like, it could be the moon, but it's not. But can you see how, like, that could be kind of like an eye, and then the head is kind of like the round part around it, and then there's like a light thing kind of, I don't know, like this, it's gonna be hard for me to do, this part here. I don't know, can you see that could be kind of like a head, and then I might pull back and it's like, I don't know, but there's been more obvious things like that. But there was one that looked like a witch, and I was looking at it, and then I was like, I had gotten a message the other day that Sophia, and I thought it was the one from the gym, that she'd been doing some foolish stuff she shouldn't be, meaning like black magic. And then in the last 10 minutes, the sky's changed a lot in the last few minutes, but there was like a witch looking face with a big typical kind of like witch hat, like from like a cartoon, that type of witch hat. And I was looking and I was like, okay, what's the message? Like, I'm like, and all of a sudden I said Sophia, and then I think I closed my eyes, or I looked away thinking, whoa, that message was about that Sophia, like one from like some other realm. And I looked back at the sky, and the sky had completely changed, and the witch face was gone, and it was like really eerie almost, I was like, okay, yeah, it might also be like the Sophia at the gym, because I don't know, it's almost like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a pole shift happening, and I keep seeing all these different creatures in the clouds today, and I don't know, I'm sure I won't see something right now that I could say, hey, look. I almost do, but it's subjective, right? But I'm laying here on a bench, and I think I can't have my camera upside down because it looks like I'm looking up, but I'm actually looking at myself on the camera, so I don't like that. But it's gonna bug me. Okay, that's better. But I'm like laying here because it's like all these people, they're waiting for me. They're waiting for me to leave. They want me to go where I've been staying because that's where they want to kill me, because they don't want to do it in public apparently. So they're waiting, and they're getting impatient, just like when I spent a couple hours under that billboard in a grassy area where they couldn't really get to me. They're getting impatient, and like all of this is really about control. And like I had no idea. I knew I was in a controlling marriage, but I had no idea that I was like some like special token to an obsessed world that had like tried to put me basically in a jar and on constant psychic attacks and attaching and or trying to attach dark entities and stuff to me, and watching me and my most intimate, and exploiting me. I didn't know that was going on, all this time, however long it's been. I think even as a child, I was in pornography. So I've been sex trafficked and just have been kind of made aware of it in the last, I don't know, couple of years, and increasingly so, but these people won't like let up. And it's like they're all angry that I have taken my power back and I'm walking in like who I am, like my own essence. And that means there's not any for them to live off of and build riches off of. And that makes them mad. They're very entitled. So it's like my husband of 28 years, who I found out just through intuitive messages that it's a false marriage. 11 children together, 9 have died, 2 were killed by him, by them, the group, and eaten. But, like, this is why this group is condemned or cursed. This is why the spirit world isn't saying, yeah, just say you're sorry, pat, it's okay. No, I was the bait. They took advantage of me all this time. I'm 47. I think I'm 47. I think I was probably abducted as an infant. I have no idea, honestly. I really don't. And when I find out, that'll be fine, but it almost doesn't matter either. I've cut off all my family. I will get my innocent children back, which I believe are my 13, 10, or it might be 11 now. I haven't seen them in like a year. And then my 8 and my 6-year-old. And like, these people are just relentlessly attacking me. And the psychic attacks and those kind of things, like, I'm protected from that stuff now that I'm like standing in my strength and have done a lot of, work on myself in the last 3.5 years since I filed for divorce. I didn't know like half the world was vampires. Like, that included my lawyer that I paid $10,000 to, Caitlin Walters. But she adopted too. So like, these people, and like the Mennonites, they adopt, but these people, they get their children in on this stuff early. And that's the thing that really, I think, bothers me the most, is that children are made to have this lifestyle, and then they just grow up, and then it's like, and then they do it to their children, and it's like, that's almost taking away the free will of people. Because if your parents are vampires and they're introducing you to something like dismembering people and drinking the blood when you're like, let's say 2 or 5, then like, that just seems so wrong to me on levels of like taking away the choice of what the child can choose in life. But so my family is this stuff, and I never would have guessed that there was evil like this, evil in such proportions, in such a large scale, that so many people are vampires, like, really. And it's not just like, oh, let me put my mouth to your neck and suck some blood. Like, that would be bad enough. It's like dismembering people, and it's like slaughtering. And I've even gotten some messages that maybe there's like tainted meat, like in especially name brands like Oscar Mayer, and they won't be around to sue me. Like, these companies are going down. Walmart, Amazon, they're going down. It's about sex trafficking, and this whole group is coming down, and they can't kill me, but they won't accept that, so they keep coming for me. Because they keep coming for me, I'm calling judgment. And at first I was wanting them to be remorseful, and there to be mercy, and there to be a way for them to not be condemned, but Spirit has told me no. And you won't help these people. Do not help these people. Like, people who try to come back from my past. The only people I will help are my innocent children. My vampire children, I will not help. And if there's a way for them to be like set free from this, then fine. But it isn't through Jesus. This Luciferjesus is the same thing. is some real dark shit. Take, eat. Take, eat, this is my body. Without the blood, you have no life in you. A man would die, it says once, but die, like the idea of someone dying for another to alleviate their punishment or their, what they're due. Like, that's what's going on. So, like, the whole thing that's called the gospel, like, it's actually, like, something really sick and dark. And the way the Mormons say Jesus and Satan are brothers is, there's something to that, because it's like, this is the same thing. This is, like, the entity that keeps, like, trying to reattach itself to me, through, like, song and stuff, like offering, like, I love you, basically, like, if I put it in my own words, like, I love you, I want you back, you know, like my psycho husband that wasn't really my husband. Everyone just had me go through the motions, and we got, quote, married, and we didn't get married. Everything, because my family was in on it, everything was just like a big old, like, rouge. I'm the only one that didn't know what was going on. Isn't that wild? And this is who I stayed faithful to and tried to win to Christ. 28 years. 17 pregnancies. No, 16 pregnancies. One pregnancy was when I was 14, not with him. And a lot of miscarriages have been caused by these people. They've attacked me with dark magic for decades, and I didn't even know such things existed. And I get a new beginning. I've manifested a new beginning. I've done the work. I've taken a look at all the shadow aspects, and, you know, I actually did all the work and still didn't know yet what was really going on. I still didn't know, like, maybe some of the things I struggled with was because of these people, like, constantly attacking me. But my spirit team knows what I've been dealing with far more than I do, and they let me know, like, kind of like in incremental fashion, probably to not overwhelm me. But it's real burdensome lately, the way that these people won't let up. And so I remember once being at the river, like in the bay in Virginia Beach, and I was calling judgment on Tracy, which his name might be Terry, but on my husband. Didn't know it was a false marriage yet. And I was so hesitant to actually, like, I almost felt like I was cursing him for me to, you know, for him to actually pay for what he's done. And I had no idea at the time what he had done to me. I didn't know yet he had killed our sons. I was so, like, with trepidation asking the spirit world to, like, bring judgment. And now a lot's changed. Now I'm asking for, like, these 3 ladies that harassed me and attacked me, and it was set up, including the manager of the storage unit. Death for those 3 ladies, and maybe death for the storage unit operator or manager, depending upon how much she was, because she's part of this, I know that. But I'm asking for something severe enough that it'll make an impact, that therefore if they see there's a consequence, like, oh shit, they disrespected her and they did this. And Ocean was actually recording, you know, not the very beginning, I couldn't know to go around recording all the time, but, you know, I have enough evidence, I think, to see, like, what was happening, to prove what was happening. And if people would see, like, that these 3 ladies dropped dead tonight, like I'm asking, then guess what? That sends a really strong message that they better leave me the fuck alone. And that's why I'm calling judgment in this particular severity, because I'm calling judgment, and I'm done warning them. I'm not going to stand on the street anymore and, saying your judgment is here. Like, I'm done. And I don't quite understand all of it, but all I know is I'm okay with some of the worst severe punishment, like judgment, like deaths that are just painful and awful, and car crashes that just take out. These people are really like monsters, and then they even boast. Like, think about Monsters Inc. And I haven't watched that movie except for it playing in a pediatrician's office, Dr. Applewhite, who's one of these people, by the way. And I knew once when she crossed her arms and she put her elbows down right in the middle of my little boy Yuri. He was probably 3 then, and he was sitting on the raised area at the doctor, on the table, and he had his legs, like this, sitting with his legs like facing her. And she crossed her arms and she put her elbows right in the middle of his, like in his crotch, and put her head real close down. And right away I was like, oh my gosh, she's a pedophile. And I still didn't know, like, this whole group. I didn't know anything about this group recording me, or, me being pimped out by this, secret society, Illuminati, this whole huge group. I didn't know anything like that, but I knew she was a pedophile when she did that. And anyway, Monsters Inc. was playing there, but the idea of Monsters Inc. is like these people boasting about what they do. Having to get, like, whatever the movie calls it, but like having to get that special quality from the children. Now the movie, I don't think it could be a G movie and really disclose what they're doing, but they're having sex with children, they're murdering children and other people. And it's time for the earth to have a reboot and a restart, and this stuff has gone on way, way too long. And I am the judgment. Me being tortured, pimped out, not even knowing that there were cameras, like, in my bedroom, in my bathroom. Like, these people, I've been like pretty much like a prisoner of war in America and hadn't even known it. It just felt like I had no real friends. No one really cared about me. I kept looking, kept trying different churches. I would talk to pastors and their wives. And it was like something was off, but I didn't know what it was. I've proved Christianity is a lie. I've proved the Bible wrong. And my story and me taking down this group is going to, like, we're going to have like a whole new earth. And there will not be this oppression, this slave society, where you like basically live to do like a 9 to 5 if you're lucky, or a whatever to whatever, and you barely have time to even enjoy like being outside, or even your own home, that you have this mortgage handshake with death, so that by the time you get done paying for it in 30 years, it pretty much won't last hardly any longer than that with the way they're made. And like a lot of things are just really, really not okay. And then it's so that certain people kind of at the top of the pyramid, like in the God We Trust, on the pyramid, I can't do it with the pyramid, like a triangle, how it's smaller at the top, like on the money, and it says in God We Trust, like the top quote elite, like let's someone, Oprah, Beyonce, those kind of people, right? The ones we think of as famous stars and stuff, right? Like Bill Cosby, he's actually like a prime minister right now in Africa and going under a different name. Like everything's just a big joke, okay? It's all just like a big, huge joke, and it's not funny. And these people are being like put to death by the spirit world because they have broken so many spiritual laws, and they've taken things too far, and they've been warned like over and over and over and over. And a lot of it is actually kind of, it makes me think of certain stories in the Bible. Like they've been warned, and they just won't listen. So sort of like Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And anyway, they're getting mad and impatient half of them have gone away now because they don't like when I'm filming them, but they want me, you know, to go where I've been staying, and they want to try to kill me again. And these people are going to die. And everything that they've done, like some might go to jail, like depending upon the severity, but we're going to find out about all these dismembered bodies and like improper burials and bodies that have been like weighted down at the ankle that are in rivers, especially by the Mennonites, where they feast on the body and then they just throw it in the river, but they put weights around the ankles so that the bodies won't float back up to the top. But we're going to be draining the swamps, we're going to be draining bodies of water, and we're going to be finding out what these people do. There are bodies that are put in between walls, like in the hollow part of a wall. They're like, it's like really gross, awful stuff. Like, it's sick. These people are condemned. They're not coming back. And I don't know how to work all that out. These are just some of the things that I've been shown. And I am their judgment. And I'm okay with that. And many of my children have turned to this. At least the 3 oldest, I know. But I'm afraid it's more than that. So basically I defeated like a really dark entity. I believe the entity is sometimes called Asmoday, but it's also the same thing as Jesus. It's also the same thing as Lucifer. And because of that, and because of me working on myself and separating myself from these people that I was attached to that were harming me and I didn't realize it, or I didn't realize to what extent they were, especially like the church people. Because of that, I've defeated this whole huge Illuminati, Masons, what all the different kinds of ways that they name themselves, but it's all the same stuff. And they are going down permanently. And this kind of thing, like eating human, will never be able to exist on Earth on a grand scale where it's like running the world ever again. Ever.